Now, back to PTR Radio.
Spectacular group of men. You go find them, you throw your arms around them, you give them a big kiss on the mouth.
This is PTR Radio.
And welcome, everybody, to another edition of PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. As close to 6 o'clock as we could possibly get. One of these days, I am going to label all the intros correctly, and I won't just have to pick between 2 or 3 of them. But I thought, well, you know what? Mike probably doesn't want to hear himself singing yet again. So. No comment this time, right, Mike?
No comment.
It's been 2 weeks. It's been too long. We are back.
Can you give me something to write you a note on?
Yes.
On a pen?
Yes. You can write a note there on the back of that, and maybe that pen will work.
On the back of your review?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
It's not going to matter. What'll be interesting is if the pen continues to work. So, everybody, welcome again to the show. If you're new to the show, this is where we just get on and talk about all kinds of news and stuff that's happened in the last couple of weeks, both to ourselves and around the web. You can chat in with the show on YouTube or Facebook Live. You can also tweet at us at PTR Radio. Mike is watching all of those right now, and if he likes your message enough, it'll even show up in the feed. Doesn't that make you feel special? You can also call into the show. 877-787-8822 is our number. And we are here to believe you. That is coming up right now. So, you know, we want to hear what you have to say. If you hear a topic that we're talking about and you have a strong opinion of it or a weak opinion of it, or you don't know what the hell we're talking about, feel free to call in and let us know. You know, why not? We did have a poll. Hello, Teresa. Nice of you to be here tonight. We did have a poll while we were off the air because our poll about toilet paper did so well. We thought we're going to ride this gravy train until it pulls into the last station. So we started another poll, and we actually had people share it out. According to my research, we reached over 400 people, which was amazing that we only got 30 respondents. But nevertheless, we did have 30 people tell us how they thought a steak should be cooked.
How many people did it reach?
Over 400.
30 people responded.
Yep.
370 damn vegans.
Yes, that's what it has to have been. That's the only logical explanation is that our fan base is nothing but vegans and they hate listen.
And
that's the only thing I can think of, Mike, is that we have a bunch of granola crunching hippies that just go out dressed as cows and other people with pitchforks, you know, doing protests all day long. That's what I attribute it to. So, but no, we asked, and boy, did we give you options. What's the perfect way to cook a steak? We had every way from blue rare, basically show it to the grill and then take it and put it on a plate, to
hit it with a hairdryer.
Yeah, to charcoal and everything in between. So that poll is open for another 25 minutes, and it is the top post on our Facebook feed. So if you want to get in there and have your voice heard on how you think a steak should be done, you can do that by checking out our Facebook page, facebook.com/PTR Radio. Like I said, it's the first post in the feed. So I know we have our opinions, and come 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern, we will find out what everybody thinks.
I'm going to share this one because it was sent in, but the second part.
Dipped in butter?
Cooked in butter, I understand.
Yeah, I've heard them sautéed in butter.
I mean, that's the standard how you're supposed to cook a steak.
Yeah, or maybe with a little, not basil butter or some cilantro butter or something, you know.
Or Cajun butter.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different butters that you can do with a steak.
Yeah.
Oh,
dipped in butter.
Butter sautéed mushrooms on top of it is always good. I like that. But, you know, dipped in butter. Yes. No, that's what you do with lobster, is you dip it in butter.
Now, I've even heard that you brush it with butter before you serve it because the butter supposedly accentuates the marbling or some BS like that. But whatever.
Just butter tastes good.
I mean,
just don't.
some people just heat up a stick of butter and eat it like a candy bar. I mean, of course, we know all this because we reviewed the movie Butter.
Yes.
So we know all about butter. In fact,
Why did you have to remind me of that stupid movie?
in a few weeks, Colin, it's going to be coming to life again because the state fair is due to start soon.
Well, that's okay. I could be eating cheese curds while looking at the butter cow.
You know?
Be like, okay, there's a butter cow. Cheese curds.
So we will have our own state fair here again shortly. And I've already been asked, are you going to see any concerts? And I say no. The last concert I went to see was Weird Al Yankovic, and I went to see it with Colin.
Yes, you did. That was a fun time.
So, I'm like, that was the last one.
I gotta say, so all of Weird Al's most recent tour is on Stitcher Premium.
Oh, okay.
So I've been listening to every single Weird Al concert in order from the beginning.
Oh.
It's
well, I know Lewis Black, when he would do his stand-up tours, he used to do an after the show Q&A session. And he would do those online. So he would take questions in through Facebook, and he would just stand up there with an iPad, basically, I think using a similar system to what we use, answering questions. And you could see they broadcast it live on Facebook. So pretty interesting.
So it's been interesting listening to these stories because he tells different stories every time, right? Mm-hmm. And one of them is he did a song on his most recent album about Charles Nelson Riley.
Okay.
And it was not a parody of a song, but because it had an actual person in it, he decided to get permission from the family. So he actually went to Charles Nelson Riley's partner. I believe he wasn't actually married, so I think partner was the correct term. And asked him if it was okay. And he said that Charles Nelson Riley did not like Adam Baldwin's... I think it was Adam. Anyway, he didn't like the parody that was done on him at Saturday Night Live because it made him look weak. I forget the exact term. But so he said, so as long as you don't make Charles Nelson Riley look weak in the song, then that was fine with him. Now, if you're not familiar with that Weird Al song, CNR, it was basically a parody of all of the Walker, Texas Ranger things. So it's all about how Charles Nelson Riley used to make the host a match game, give him piggyback rides.
Oh, okay.
And,
so it was a Chuck Norris ripoff.
Yeah, it's a Chuck Norris ripoff.
Okay.
But replacing Chuck Norris with Charles Nelson Riley. So, he sissy. That was the word. He didn't want Charles Nelson Riley to be made look like a sissy.
Well, and that's because back when that word gained popularity, and we will talk about this topic, back when that word gained popularity, one, it was socially acceptable to call somebody that, and two, it was still a derogatory term for a gay person. You would, if you were called a sissy back then, people knew that, hey, you weren't into girls. You more likely went along with the Elton John line of, entertainment.
Or you were just different.
You are flamboyant more than anything else is probably what it meant.
Because like when I was growing up, there was always one or two kids that you knew that we didn't understand the concept of homosexuality. Because, we didn't have the internet when I was growing up.
Oh, God,
Imagine that. So you didn't know that they were homosexual. You just knew they were different.
Yeah. And
now you got 10-year-olds coming out of the closet, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. Look, I'm not saying this to make light of it. I just don't understand it. Yeah. How, at that age, you're not even supposed to know about sex, let alone what you're attracted to.
Let's put it this way. My daughter, as a senior in high school, didn't know what profession she wanted to go into. And that's really easy to change throughout your life. How do you know what your sexual orientation is 8 years prior to that?
Can't know. So let me just throw these out here. So I get this from...
You know what, Colin? I didn't even notice you have new glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And part two...
I didn't see that. It went away too fast.
Oh.
You can click it again. And Colin didn't seem to get the memo about wearing a white t-shirt. No. Didn't you know our podcast is being renamed? We're now the Plain White Tees. We're going to try and get in on their...
I do have graphics on mine. You just can't see them because, Shaggy zooms in on my face. Yeah, so I have a big head.
Yeah. I actually go out of my way not to wear white T-shirts because,
I'm like...
Well, let's put it this way. I came home. I'm like, I got to get out of these clothes. I grabbed stuff that I know I'm not leaving the house again. And I've known Colin long enough. He doesn't care what I'm wearing. I didn't notice his glasses. He's not going to notice what I'm wearing.
I'm impressed that you noticed my glasses.
I didn't. Your mom did. I read the text.
I missed that.
No, I didn't have a clue. I'm like, okay, I know Colin wears glasses. I'd never have a clue that they changed.
Yeah, I had to change because, I needed new lenses. And
they're blue-ish.
They're blue. My last two pairs of glasses were Tag Heuer's.
Okay.
And Tag Heuer canceled their contract with the frames maker, and then they promptly went bankrupt. So I can't buy the same glasses anymore.
Oh.
So these are Nike.
I actually am making an appointment to go get new glasses.
Wait a minute. Who went bankrupt?
The frame maker that Tag Heuer gave the contract to make the frames.
Oh.
So Tag Heuer themselves did not make glasses. They only make watches.
Right.
Tag Heuer didn't go bankrupt.
Okay,
French company that made the glasses for Tag Heuer, they went bankrupt.
By the way,
okay,
you mentioned you made the comment of before the internet we didn't know, Mike. Well, I'm a big follower of Linus's Tech Tips. It's another YouTube channel. Colin, I agree. There's some hits and misses on that channel, all right? But one of the things I do like is Scrapyard Wars that they do, where they have a mission to build a PC for so much money.
Uh-huh.
All right, and they have different challenges to building it. Like, usually there's a time constraint, there's a money constraint. Well, they just started a new series of it, and this one is the best constraint yet. No internet. They cannot use the internet at all while they're doing this.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult.
So they're trying to build gaming PC, the best gaming PC they can build for 2,000 Canadian dollars, and they can't use the internet.
Oh.
$2,000.
Not only that.
That sounds low for them.
It's pretty high because they've done it for a lot less before. But the problem is they really can't use internet, as in they can't use Google Maps to figure out how to get places. So their first challenge was finding a place where they could buy a street map because neither one of the teams knew directions to anywhere in town. They just relied on Google Maps to get them everywhere. So they had to find street maps. And then Street Map doesn't do you any good to find a place if you don't know the place already and what its address is, right? So then they had to find a phone book, and they were laughed out of several places asking for phone books.
Okay, that's pretty good. I might have to watch those. Usually I just watch this stuff. Either I don't agree with what he's saying, or I'm just looking at this hugely expensive stuff they have, and I'm like,
yeah, nobody can afford it. What good is it?
I don't agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. Not everybody can put 4 1080 Ti's into a machine where each one costs $800.
Now, one thing that did happen last couple weeks is the end of one of the greatest YouTube channels.
Are you talking about Daddy of Five?
No.
Okay.
The Ben Heck Show.
I don't know the Ben Heck Show.
Ben Heck was a guy who became famous several years ago for making portable game systems.
Okay.
He made a portable Xbox, a portable PlayStation, and he had a channel that was sponsored by Element 14, one of the big electronics supplying companies. Uh-huh. They would put stuff together, but he has retired from that channel. I think they're going to still try to run it, but I don't know if that's...
Was it a lot of retro gaming? Is that what he did, or was it more current stuff?
It was less gaming and more electronics.
Okay.
Like he made a glue gun where you would pull the trigger and it would have a motor on it to automatically push the glue.
Oh, to feed the glue. Okay. Yeah, exactly. They still make phone books? Who knew?
Yes, they do.
You think it's just something that gets thrown on your porch, right? Everybody thinks that, but I swear he went to a dozen places before he found some place that actually had one. And it was an old one, because then they show him calling places, and I don't know how many... I'm sorry, the number you've dialed is not in service, or it was the wrong number. So... Which was funny to me because I had a customer that I took over to a VoIP provider from traditional Ma Bell, and their number didn't get moved over in the phone book because when you leave one of the big wigs, right, then it's hit or miss whether you get published in even the white pages. when you're with a VoIP provider. Well, somebody called the only number that was listed in the white pages, which was the fax number, which I usually leave with a traditional POTS provider. So their fax machine rang, and it was somebody calling them, and they called me, and I'm like, well, how many times has this happened where somebody dialed your fax line looking for you? And they're like, once.
Just now.
I said, once in the entire year? And you want me to go through this long process? Or you want to spend money to actually have a Yellow Pages ad? I'm telling you, nobody uses a phone book anymore. So I might actually send them this show that I'm watching just to prove the point.
Yeah.
That nobody used the phone book.
No. Do they even make a white pages anymore?
Well, it's all in the Yellow Page. I mean, it's all one book.
See, I received them and never opened them, so.
Yeah.
I mean, saw they were yellow, so I thought they were just...
It's really funny when they come around the office and they drop them off at your desk, and then not 5 minutes behind them is a guy with a recycling bin going, hey, do you want your phone book? No? Okay, just put it in. I'm like, you're taking the time to pass them out and to collect them. Why don't you just put them straight in the recycling bin and save the work?
Because there are still short people out there that need them to sit on.
I'll tell you,
to see over the dashboard.
He was sent out to pick up the old phone book, and then as he did his rounds, he quickly figured out that he was mostly just picking up the new phone book.
I'll tell you what's funny is we were actually looking for phone books when my unit got new monitors, because they're non-height adjustable monitors, and they're only about that much lifted off of the desktop. So you're looking like this, trying to type. So what did we do? We used up 3 cases of paper, lifting up the monitors to a comfortable height. I'm like, yes, this is a good use of state resources.
Everybody in my office, well, not everybody, but it seems like it sometimes, are getting those things that go on top of the desk that lifts up so they can stand. Vista
or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've looked at them for here, actually, because I thought, well, I'd like a sit-stand desk.
Yeah.
And it's a cheap way to do it.
I was thinking just put the monitors on there, go shoot it up, and there.
Yeah.
Done.
Rather than having a whole sit-stand desk, you just basically have a monitor stand with a keyboard tray on it, Mike, that just that piece goes up and down.
Okay.
I take it you're not a fan of the standing desk.
No. I absolutely... I think they're the dumbest thing.
How about the ball chair? Because those have invaded my office.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah. We've got like a dozen of them running around on the floor now.
That is absolutely the dumbest thing.
I just want to kick them. That's all I want to do.
I do not want a standing desk. I do not want a ball chair. What I think I would like, though, is probably what would be considered even worse, but one of those
treadmill desks.
I could do a treadmill desk.
I thought about turning the treadmill that's behind you into a treadmill desk just by putting a piece of plywood across there and just, latching it to the arm rails.
Walking is good. I like walking. Standing is terrible.
Well, one of my side clients, the secretary's desk, which is when I have to work there, that's the desk that I usually use because it's right inside the front door. So nobody's there. I use that desk when I have to do work. The receptionist left. The new receptionist got one of those ball chairs. I'm like, damn it. Now I have to find a new place to work because I can't. If I sit on that ball chair, it's done. There's no way it can. No, I don't know what its weight capacity is, but it's not this. All right. It's probably half of this. It's meant for little girls that do yoga. It is not meant for this.
You know when they really got all that popularity? When the movie Stealth came out.
Really? I don't remember it in Stealth.
There's one brief scene right after the pilots are introduced to Eddie in the hangar.
Uh-huh.
They're given the materials and say, go back home or go back to your rooms, do your homework. And there's a scene where Jessica Biel in her yoga pants,
of course,
sitting there on the computer on a ball chair, shaking her butt. And of course, it pans up, but to show her, look, that's the only reason. Because now
everybody thinks they got that.
Everybody thinks they got that.
No, they don't have that.
No, not everybody has that.
No, what they have
don't tell me it promotes good posture and it's good for your core and all that. Listen, you know what else promotes good posture? Sitting up straight.
The best scene in Hello, My Name is Doris is when at the end she goes, "This is not a chair." She boots it across the room.
The best had to be, I've seen them online where it's a ball that's in a rolling base.
That's what they got at my office. And I'm like,
that's the stupidest thing.
Why do you have the ball?
Now, the only thing that's worse than that, have you guys ever seen the chairs that they almost look like shoebox kind of things, where you're sitting, but you're kind of kneeling and your knees are on a padded bar?
The knee chair.
And what is it?
You're talking about the knee chair?
Sure, if that's what it's called. I didn't know it had a name. I thought it was just torture device because... You know what? You try and put me in one of those. I'll take the ball over that. If it's between the ball or the knee thing, give me the ball.
Yeah, you're talking about...
Give me the ball.
It's a kneeling chair.
Yeah.
So you're talking about one of...
Oh, that's the worst one I've ever seen.
One of this?
That's even more ridiculous because that's got a split.
Yeah.
So your knees are fixed in one position.
Or is it like this girl right here?
Well, like that even. That's...
Yeah.
I mean, that other one looks like...
what the hell is this guy doing? I'm not working like that.
But that first one you showed, Jack, he looked more like a maternity kneeling chair.
You know what? This girl's getting a massage. That's all that chair is. That's when you need a neck rub.
She just doesn't know how to sit in that chair.
Yeah, that's sitting in a chair backwards.
She's sitting in it back. She's doing the Riker maneuver.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That chair, that's more... It's like I expect to see that chair in like massage parlors. Like you sit there in an office where you have the wandering masseuse. Okay, great.
Oh, this guy's just a jerk.
That you could kiss my ass. That guy right there. Okay, that guy right there. First of all, that got inspiration from the movie Steel. And second, that is almost like how they're going to start strapping you in airplanes so they could fit 700 people on an airplane.
Oh my God, that's just. Oh.
Okay, so we got a bunch of comments here about the chairs. All right, so
we hit a nerve.
We got. All right,
There's
so
one ADD guy for him, the ball is really beneficial. He doesn't sit, he bounces and keeps him focused. Yeah, it's a fidget chair. That's what we need is a fidget chair.
Okay, so
recently got a ball because of my car accident. It's a lifesaver for my back. Even husband thinks so. Also love kneeling chairs. What is wrong with your sister, Colin?
Yeah, so I don't know which one we put up, but
oh Jesus.
And then Mama Blair wrote in this one here. Like
they're not supposed to support your knees.
No, and the sad part is those kneeling chairs, like I'm sitting on my chair right now and I have my feet tucked back underneath.
Yeah.
But there's no weight on my knees or my shins or anything. So it's a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah. You know, here, I'm going to show you a comparison. All right. I'm going to show you two pictures. And so here's picture number one. All right. The chair that we couldn't figure out. All right. Here is the only acceptable use for this type of chair. It's a standing wheelchair.
I told you.
That's it.
That's steel.
Yeah, that's it.
You mount a couple of 30 caliber Gatling guns on it, and that's the chick from the end of Steel. Going in to save Shaquille O'Neal's ass.
Oh.
Here,
here we go.
I missed the beanbag chairs from the 90s.
I had a beanbag chair, and they got attacked by a dog.
Exactly.
I got a picture for you to put up, Shaq.
Okay.
This is this is not mine, but this is a chair I used to
This is a chair you used to have. I remember this chair.
This is a chair.
Ah, damn it. Hold on.
If this is the one that looks like a bunch of pool noodles up the back.
No. This is the Star Trek Enterprise chair is what it is.
A split keyboard and everything. Good.
Yeah.
I had the trackpad, not the trackball, but it was blue. But it was great. So I could sit there typing away and just kind of going like this.
Yeah.
I could roll around. But unfortunately, it shorted out on me.
See, so Kenna, you have a legit excuse of why you need those chairs. I get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
most of these people don't.
Yes, McKenna works in a bakery where she spends a lot of time with her hands up in the air, and that causes difficulty that, sitting differently helps with.
Yes.
Here's the thing. If you're using one of those chairs just to be hip, you have lost the foundation, okay? You're as hip as a white girl with braids on vacation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just get rid of it.
Well, since the last show, it was really cool. I actually went to the Blair household
Yes.
For a birthday party, which was pretty cool. It felt like an honorary Blair, and so much so I come back and I tell my wife, hey, I think I'm going over to Colin's mom and dad's to watch Sharknado. And she goes, oh, are you just going to live over there? You just going to, I'm like, I don't know. Probably not, but it's not. Cool.
You can see why I spent so much time there, though.
I'm like, Colin just asked me, because normally it's just me in the basement, and this would be a little bit different.
Yes.
So I'm like, did you want to watch Sharknado 6? She goes, no. Okay. So what's the deal of where I watch it? Doesn't matter. So, yeah. But that was a cool night. It was just sitting around. I tell you what, you go to the Blairs, very open household. Everybody makes you feel welcome. It's a nice place to be.
Well, so. That house is so much more conducive to people visiting than my parents' previous house, which was very dark.
Yep. So,
although if anybody wants to buy the house, it's for sale.
And it's light for new owners, really. It's very light and open and airy and great for entertaining for new owners. It just didn't fit Colin's family, but for everybody else, it's great. In fact, you should offer more than asking price.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it's priced for a bidding war, actually. So a bit high. Yeah.
Is there a relocation bonus available?
There's a...
Yes, you get to be closer to us.
There's a do you want to remodel the kitchen yourself bonus.
See, we term that as a
opportunity
to customize. Yeah.
Okay, look, I love you guys, but if Kim and I have to move, we're moving somewhere where I don't have to do crap.
Oh no, you do not want that house.
Oh,
you do not want that house.
I'm just saying. Because right now, like even just looking in my office, okay. So my desk is starting to sag in the bridge area from 10 years of use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, place the desk, and I'm sitting here looking at desks, and I find some online that I think is like, and I say, you know what? It would take me a month
to clean it off,
to clean this room enough to be ready to put in a desk.
Yeah.
Let alone reorganize.
Yep.
So,
well, I have reorganized this room
and
three times, I think.
And by the way, I believe this was in remarks to don't want to have to do nothing when we move.
So,
yes. Something else I wanted to just mention real quick. Apparently, is the era of releasing. I don't know if "terrible" is the right word, but 90s science fiction television.
Sure.
So I have ordered 2 shows from my teenage years.
Okay.
That I've been wanting to watch and have been able to because they're only terrible copies.
Okay. Gem and the Holograms, and what else?
So the 2 I have just purchased, they actually just arrived today, is Viper, the Complete Collection.
Oh, really? You found it? Because the only thing I found was a really bad German rip.
It just came out on DVD as a box set.
Okay, great. I look forward to seeing that on Ver soon.
And Veer.
Veer.
Even I knew that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I got a comment about that, but go ahead.
And the other show that I just got is Super Force.
I don't think I've heard about that one.
Super Force, I don't know if I've even seen entire episodes, but it's like they have some kind of like suit on the guy, and it's actually been it had an impact on my memory.
Okay.
But it's a show I've never seen.
All right.
I guess it was a double, like a half hour of Superboy followed by a half hour of Super Force.
Okay.
But apparently, it's like a former NASA astronaut who gets a super suit and like mechanical suit and stuff. Cyborg things.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Mike. So what's your beef?
So, Colin, I like to think I'm well aware of your taste in TV and movies. And last week I was trying to kill a little bit of time, clock watching at the end of the day.
Uh-huh.
And so I logged on to Veer. I was a little surprised to see that you have pretty much every Step Up movie ever created.
I have not seen any of them, but I have them all, yes.
And I had to double check and make sure.
I get requests from people, hey, can you find this? And then I go and find it and I put it on Veer.
Okay. I was kind of surprised. I was like, what's going on with this? Looking at it compared to the other stuff, and I'm like, one of these things is not like the other. But it was cool. I mean, there are some scenes that, I'll watch the final dance battles in pretty much all of them.
No, I do like watching So You Think You Can Dance. That's something my family and I watch.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on that one. I gave up on that one when they started bringing the All-Stars back. Like when they started having All-Stars dancing with the dancers all the time, I kind of gave up on it.
Well, I gave up, was it 2 years ago, when they decided to go with kids, and that just skeeved me out. I was like, no, I'm not going to watch this show of little girls dancing sexily. No, I'm not watching that.
Speaking of that kind of topic, there actually is a news story that we have.
Oh yeah, we have topics.
We have topics.
Not just completely random, just mostly random.
Mostly random. Fox News is reporting mom slams Target and Walmart for selling hooker-style shorts for tweens. Now, for those unfamiliar with tweens, that would be like 11 and 12-year-olds. Okay? Now, they have a picture in the article.
I was going to say, can you put this picture up for reference, please?
Yeah, so here is what they are saying are hooker-style shorts. Okay? Now, just looking at these, I have seen Hooters and Show Me's waitresses wear tighter, shorter shorts than these, and they have not been referred to as hookers. All right, waitresses,
okay,
but not hookers.
I'm sure that these moms have never frequented a Hooters.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure about that.
However,
yeah.
What I will say is this. Okay, those shorts. Okay, they would not pass the dress code test at a school.
Correct. They wouldn't. The either, what is it? 2 inches above the knee, or have to be past your fingertips
past your fingertips is what I was thinking.
It just depends. But here's what you write. Dear Target, I love you, but we need to talk about these tween girls for a minute. More specifically, we need to talk about what you're offering them in the athletic wear department. Now again, athletic wear department is where these are. Okay. It's ridiculous. I have an almost 10-year-old daughter who next week is going to basketball camp, as they do. My tween is growing like a weed, which means she's outgrown her old pair of more little kid feeling shorts. Not a problem. I thought I'll grab her a new pair. Blah, 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 blah. What I found instead, teeny, tiny, itsy bitsy, way too short shorts. That's it. I get that shorts are by definition short, but where are the mid-length shorts, the approaching knee-length shorts, the shorts that don't require built-in underwear she'd undoubtedly find uncomfortable? The options for my daughter's age seems to have been limited to these skin-tight leggings, which she cannot stand. I don't fancy myself a prude, but neither do I take the responsibility to teach my daughters about modesty. But neither do I take the responsibility to teach my daughters about modesty and appropriate dress lightly. We live in a cultural sexualized enough as it is. I wish I could go shopping for my tween and not have to worry about her backside or underwear showing in a pair of athletic shorts. There's a whole bunch of other here.
All right, so let's be clear. That particular picture, all right, that girl is very skinny. Those shorts on somebody with a little bit of junk in the trunk, yes, they're going to be tight. So you go up a size.
Mm-hmm. They're drawstring or elastic banded shorts.
All right, the other thing, athletic section, like you said, if they're going to a camp, that means they're going to be doing a lot of physical activity. I would imagine that they're going to wear, compression shorts underneath those to help support the hamstrings and the core a little bit. Lastly, I kind of agree with this, that the fashion has gotten, there is no middle of the road anymore. And I'm not just talking about girls, I'm talking about guys. It's very difficult for me to find jeans that are not skinny jeans, tapered, stretch, something. I have to order my friggin' jeans online because you don't carry the loose fit in the stores. Not baggy, loose fit. Why does everything have to be slim fit or athletic cut? We're not all that way. So it's not just on the girls. It's the guys' side, too.
Yeah, why you want all the guys showing moose knuckles?
Okay. No, you don't at all. Now, the other thing, this just shows how unpopular Taylor Swift is now. Because Taylor Swift was bringing back the high waist look, and that seems to have disappeared. Okay, so I believe this was in response to the Hooters girls. Yeah, they wear tights underneath their shorts. Yeah, okay. Mama Blair's, yeah, not all tweens wear those tiny shorts well. No, they don't.
No, that's not the complaint.
The complaint is that there are no other options.
Right. The complaint was that
regardless
this
of body
this
type,
was all they had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You want the knee-length denim shorts? Okay. Buy a pair of jeans.
And I'll come out and say, my daughter is not a prude, but she's not one to, flaunt everything that she has either. And she was in that case where she wanted something that was comfortable, but didn't hang everything out there for everybody to watch. To see. And was it easy to find that stuff? Not necessarily, but it was still out there. We have this thing called the internet.
Teresa's offering up a valid, at least for athletic wear.
Well, that's what she says.
Yeah.
So in this actual thing, now first off, I should know, because I just read through this. The comment that was in the story that we came from about the hooker style is not in the original thing this woman wrote. There are some comments to the story that say hooker. But what she says in this thing is, I couldn't find anything except these short shorts in the women's department, so for now, we will be shopping in the boys section. That's all she said. She didn't say, I'm not going to buy anything from your store anymore. She didn't say she didn't stop out of the store. She just said, we're going to have to go over to the boys section and find something there.
Okay. And fine. That's because reality is if they took some of the boys stuff and hung it up in the girls section, it'd probably still sell.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't a new thing either. If this was a new thing, I wouldn't have clips like this.
We wear short shorts. If you dare wear short shorts, therefore short shorts.
The cotton test proves Nair leaves legs smoother.
So, short shorts aren't new.
The thing that kills me, and I don't really like this look. To me, it looks sloppy, but when the girls buy denim shorts that are cut so that the pockets hang down lower than the hem on the short.
That looks white trashy to me. Is what that
to
looks
me,
like.
I don't get that one at all. No. I really don't.
And especially when they're wearing them and they're like a 5XL, that just screams trailer park.
Well, okay.
It screams.
Dear God, don't make me pay $20 more because you put holes in my jeans.
Or remember the mud-covered jeans, the fake mud jeans that we covered that were like $200 a pair?
Okay, here's the thing I do not understand.
Okay.
There's all these comments lately about how sexist the temperature setting is in buildings.
What? I've never heard that. Mike, have you read these articles? Evidently they're everywhere, and I've never heard.
No, I've experienced reverse sexism.
Yeah, me too. Every building I go into is 100 degrees.
I'm thinking the other way. I got Sister Hot Flash and the Ice Queen got the thermostat turned on to 58 because they're going through the change, and I respect that. I understand your discomfort, but damn it, wear a cooling towel and put a fan on your desk. Leave me out of it.
Oh, no. I got 80 women on one floor, all with personal space heaters cranked up to 5 feet from the surface of the sun.
And that's why Illinois' taxes are so high, because the electric bills in your buildings are so high because of all these space heaters.
So they're saying that the about 68, 70 room temperature was set by a man. And if a woman had said it, it'd be higher. But so here's what I don't understand.
I have never gone into a building that's 68, 70 degrees, because if so, I would have been happy.
Exactly, but that's what they're saying.
If a vegan had done it, it'd be even higher, because every degree saves 700 kilowatt hours per life of the building.
The baby seals will live another day.
So here's what I don't understand, okay? If women want higher temperature or are more sensitive to wanting to be warmer,
dress in layers,
then why are women wearing less clothes than the men? That's what I don't understand.
Well, all I know is there's one person at work, and I won't say who it is, and if you think it's you, it's not. It's somebody else, who dresses like an overstuffed sausage every day. Okay, so they have no right to say whether it's cold or hot in a building, because there's no excess fabric anywhere.
Yes, that's it. That's one of the.
I don't know.
That was a Saturday Night Live skit. I think.
Yes, so.
But very, very funny. But yeah, it's all about how in the summer we crank up the air conditioning and the men are happy and the women are freezing. I'm just looking at it going, why is fashion then putting less clothes on the women?
You are right.
And more clothes on the men? Shouldn't we be walking around in the dresses and?
Wait a second.
I mean, that's.
No, wait.
Now you're getting into a completely different argument about wanting to wear a dress.
Here you go. Okay, so here's Mama Blair, right?
Yeah.
So if
yes, exactly,
guys really wanted,
Mama Blair hits it right on the head. And my own saying has been forever: you can always put on more clothes, but at some point, it is socially unacceptable for me to take anything more off.
Yes,
but if it was sexist, then men would be putting the thermostat way up, so that women will wear less clothes and open up and show cleavage. And
it would be
think about that.
It would be skirt day every day at work if that was the case.
Not for nothing. Every Hooters I've ever gone into, and I've been in a lot of Hooters, the temperature in Hooters is like 65 degrees. There's a reason for that.
Yes, that's right. The kitchen is very hot.
Yes, it's because you're eating spicy wings.
Yes, and it helps with the tips. But so yeah, I mean, but and the thing is, most fashion designers are women, so don't bitch to us men.
Yeah,
all right,
please,
about it,
please. Okay, okay, we get it. All right, look, we get it. You're a baker. We get it. I love you. We get it.
I was never complaining I was cold when I was working the grill at McDonald's. All right. Never in the world was I cold at McDonald's. I was either sweating my ass off, The
worst part about my job when I used to drive a forklift in the receiving department at BJ's, worst part about my job was when the freezer truck would come in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
For like the frozen meats and stuff and the bakery. Why? Because I'm wearing track pants, mesh track pants, trying to stay cool. This was before they let us wear shorts after my protest. I'm trying to stay cool while I'm back in the warehouse because those trailers get up to like 120, 130 degrees. Then you got to go in the freezer truck. We would fight over who went in the freezer truck.
Mm-hmm.
And the one guy, Kevin, that I used to work with, if he had to go into the truck and unload it, every time he'd be going in, he'd be screaming, "Ah!" Because he did not deal with cold well at all.
We got so hot behind the grill at McDonald's that we would take our breaks in the freezer.
You take your breaks in the freezer, and you saved money on salt seasoning for the burgers because you're sweating on them.
Unfortunately, that is true.
That's why I don't eat at McDonald's anymore.
First you make your 40-piece nugget and your triple large fry, and then you go in the freezer and cool off for a few minutes.
If I was working with you, Mike, they'd be like, "Where's Colin?" I was like, "Oh, he's probably in the freezer truck." So I'll just be in the freezer truck.
Well, no, Colin, you would have worked on the overnight in the freezer department. The guys that work in the giant coolers restocking the freezer stuff from the inside.
Yeah.
Counting down the days till winter. Yeah, I'm counting down the days till winter too. Why? Because that means it's hockey season, and that means I get out once a week again.
So my wife will tell you that when she went through menopause, that she was hell because it was hot, cold, hot, cold. And I'm like,
I already told Kim when that day comes, that she starts going through the change, she getting drugs, I'm getting drugs.
They don't always help.
Because my drugs will help.
What helps is a separate office.
At that point, I'm just gonna be like, listen, Governor Murphy, you better legalize this freaking marijuana, because, dude, I need to be like whatever, man.
Well, luckily for you, that is becoming easier, because just today, the first drive-through pot shop opened. So, now you don't even have to stop. You don't even have to get out of your car now for quality kush. So, which our state, I don't know if New Jersey has it, but our
state... You have been waiting all day to use that word, haven't you?
But our state has drive-through liquor stores.
Oh, not Jersey. No.
We do.
But we can't even buy beer in the grocery store here.
You can't even, if I remember correctly, you can't even put gas to your cars, right?
What?
You can't put gas in your own car.
No.
Yeah, so getting marijuana through a drive-through window probably not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, so yeah, we have drive-through liquor stores. I'm surprised we don't have a drive-through bar. Any day now, somebody's going to come up with a way to do that and get a law passed somewhere.
There is one drive-through liquor store, I believe, but I also think you have to call ahead, or there's some weird thing about it. Like it's not like you could just drive through and pick up a 6-pack. You have to.
Oh, God, here you can drive up that. Now they don't have the speaker box. They're not that advanced. You just go up to the window. You drive up to the window. You tell the guy what you want. He then basically shops for you, brings it to the window. But usually they carry a lot of insurance because they have a lot of people drive into their window.
Oh, yeah.
Or into another car in the lot.
If I remember right, the one drive-through liquor store in Jersey, it was actually like a giant cement arch that you would drive in the middle of, so that there was no, like steel reinforced concrete. It's not like you just hit a pole or take out the window with the mirror. No, if you hit it, you're not damaging the building. You're damaging your car.
Yeah. So this is I'm trying to figure out where the hell it's at. It's K5 News, but they don't say where. All they say is the city name. It doesn't bother to tell me what the heck the state. Oh, Seattle, Washington. This is Auburn, Washington. Brand new pop shop located in Auburn on the Muckleshoot Reservation. Of course, it's on an Indian reservation. Got special permission with the state to add drive-through service. There's a basic menu, much like a typical fast food restaurant, but there's also a security guard checking to make sure everyone in the car is 21. Identifications get checked 2 more times at the pickup window. So evidently no kids in the car. So what they want you to do is go to the pot shop, and if you have kids in the car, leave them in the car while you walk into the store. They had something similar here for a while. Walmart, this is how bad this was. When my daughter was like 19, she would go with my wife to Walmart. My wife would grab a bottle of wine or whatever. She would then have to send my daughter out to the car, because if my daughter happened to go through line with her, she wasn't allowed to buy the wine.
What?
Even though my wife was well over 21, they go, oh, well, you could be buying it for her.
Well, what
the hell does it matter? You're selling it to the person who's over 21 with diapers and wipes and eggs and milk. It's not like you're just buying booze.
There are some restaurants that if you have a child at the table with you, you cannot be served alcohol.
Oh,
some BYOB restaurants around here, if you have a minor at the table with you, they cannot open your alcohol for you.
Like that is exactly when you need the alcohol, when you have a small child with you.
No, you can have the alcohol, they're just not allowed to open it, which actually makes sense.
Yeah, it's something for insurance reasons. Like if you have a bottle of wine and a BYOB around here, the waiter or waitress they'll bring you a bucket of ice to put it in or whatever. Or even if you bring beer, they'll bring you ice to put your beer in. But they won't open it for you if you have a minor at the table.
I completely misunderstood. I thought you were saying that if you had a minor at the table, you couldn't have the minor open the alcohol for you. And I was like,
what?
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what's holding it up. Is they can't pop the top for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
One customer says, it's all about convenience. My knee's blown out and I'm on crutches, so I can't walk too well. This is easy. Way easier. Cannabis retail.
Way easier,
man. Cannabis retail is very different. You've got some people that want that authenticity and they want that connection, and then others do not want the connection. They want to stay secretive, and they kind of want to stay back and keep that discretion wall up. Yeah, so we want to make this seem more illegal by just doing a quick transaction in the car, is what they're saying. Some people are cool walking up to the counter and letting everybody else know in the shop what's going on. Other people just want to basically palm you a 50 and take a baggie in response, Okay.
So we're a half hour out from the movie reviews.
Yes, we are.
So should we talk about movies?
We should talk. Well, we should talk about directors.
Yes.
Yes.
I doubt that we talk a whole lot about the movie itself here, but I think we're going to talk about directors for a second. And social media and media outcry. And, I think Mike brought it up earlier in the show that the internet wasn't around when we were growing up. Okay.
No.
And thank goodness, because it seems like we would all be labeled, racist, bigot, homophobes, probably. I'm just taking a wild guess here. If that was the case, I know personally for me, homophobe, hater, whatever would definitely be in the repertoire of words that people would use to describe me if they had looked at, single digit age me, through 13-year-old me. But obviously that's not who I am today. Because we have this weird thing of growing and learning and adapting and changing our attitudes as we grow up and become the person we are. And that process continues until you die. You continually change the way you feel about things. It's called evolving. It's kind of what we do.
It's called learning.
Yeah. I mean,
called growing up.
Nobody, I don't know a single person whose worldview has stayed consistently the same, exactly the same,
yes,
through their entire life.
Yes, unless their worldview through the entire time is consistently bad.
Yeah, if they are extremely sheltered and they never get outside of their bubble of influence, all right, you can't help but change your opinion about something, no matter what it is.
Right.
You can't help but mature at the very least, okay? And you can say, oh, you guys are leftists, you guys are liberals, you guys are just pandering to the Hollywood elite or whatever. No, we're actually talking about a person growing here. So what this all started with was earlier in the week, Disney made the decision to terminate their agreement with James Gunn over directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Okay, now James Gunn obviously directed Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. They were massive successes. He's also had his hands in other projects along the way. But a alt-right movement, leader, resurfaced some 2007, 2008 tweets of Gunn's that were jokes in very poor taste.
Yeah, let's be very clear. Very, very poor taste.
Yes, they were horrendous.
And ones that he already apologized for several years ago.
Yeah, before he ever did Guardians of the Galaxy 1, he had an interview with Wired Magazine where they had found those tweets. And he had publicly said, yes, I was very immature. Those are not my feelings now. I have to own them and I have to admit to doing that, but that isn't a reflection of where I am today. I thought that that's what you needed to do to be edgy and to bring popularity and notoriety to yourself. But I didn't necessarily always, agree with what I was saying. I was just saying it to make a splash. Okay. And you guys feel free to jump in here too.
Right, at the time, you look back at what he was actually doing at that time.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, it's difficult to.
It's difficult to grab any article nowadays and not have a video play somehow. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, Selma Blair tweeted the petition that basically, is trying to get James Gunn reinstated, and she brought up a very good point. And I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the article up, but she basically said he apologized, he admitted his mistake, and now we're crucifying him for things he did in the past. So how is this motivating people to better themselves? This is anti-motivation.
Yeah. It's saying that you can never serve your time and pay your price. It's the same thing that says, once someone's gotten out of prison and they paid their debt to society, that they never deserve a break. that they never deserve happiness or anything after that. Okay? Because they did something wrong once. Okay? Well, guess what? Trust me, he paid his price. He definitely realized what he did, recognized it was wrong. He's paid for it. You know, he has apologized for it. He's moved forward. He's in the right direction now. He's been, I don't know what the hell the word is, but anyway, he's done better. And from the looks of it, the entire staff of Guardians of the Galaxy is saying he's a caring person who doesn't reflect what his past was. I mean, it seems like every single person, maybe they didn't come out and say it directly, because, you know, for example, Chris Pratt, at Pratt, says, understand this, my dear brothers and sisters, let every person be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. James 1:19. All right, he's quoting a Bible verse there. Zoe Saldana, it's been a challenging weekend. I'm not going to lie. I'm pausing myself to take everything in before I speak out of term. I just want everyone to know that I love all members of the Guardians of the Galaxy family and always will. Dave Bautista, when it's time, I will speak to you from the heart like I always do. Until then, we are Groot. Love you. Then he came out a little bit later and said, James Gunn is one of the, again, this is Dave Bautista, say James Gunn is one of the most loving, caring, good-natured people I have ever met. He is gentle and kind and cares deeply for people and animals. He's made mistakes. We all have. I'm not okay with what's happening to him. Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother, says, I hope it goes without saying that I love and support my brother James, and I'm quite proud of how kind, generous, and compassionate he is with the people in his life, whether they are friends, family, colleagues, fans, or strangers. Now, on the opposite side of the equation, you have people saying, well, if they fired Roseanne, they have to fire Gunn. All right? People are coming out and saying that. And I'm going, wait a second, this is apples and oranges. Gunn didn't say these things when he was working for Disney.
Well,
if these were brand new tweets, this would be totally something different.
Right, but that's
Gunn also did not say this about targeting a specific person.
Correct. That too.
So that's another apples to oranges thing. But you're right. This was all in the past, and he apologized for it. This is
10 years ago.
This is like if he committed a crime, went to jail, came out, directed Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and then said, oh, well, you're a convicted felon, so you have to go, or you were convicted of a crime, so you have to go. He did his time. He apologized. He admitted.
Yeah.
So this isn't even like it was an allegation. He admitted it was wrong and blah, blah, blah. So
let's go through it. We have three different people related to Disney, and we can look at the three different things that happened. Okay?
Yep.
So the first one is we have James Gunn, someone who many years ago, before he ever worked for Disney, said some things on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
He apologized for it. When people heard that he was going to be doing Guardians of the Galaxy, there were stories at the time about these tweets. There's some worry about it. And again, he apologized. And it is not anything that has happened ever since. You have Roseanne Barr, someone who, over the years on Twitter, has gotten into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And keeps apologizing and saying, no, I'm sorry, I should have done that. I will stop doing it. And she did it yet again. And that was finally the straw that broke the camel's back, ABC Candor. Then you have John Lasseter, someone who didn't just say stupid things on Twitter, but did actively grope Disney employees for many years. They put him on paid leave for 6 months, and he still works for them, at least until the end of the year. So you look at those three examples of someone who is a high-level director at Disney,
mm-hmm.
who actually did things and wasn't fired.
Who actually corrected his mistakes.
No, I'm saying Lasseter still works for them.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry.
He's a paid consultant. And so you look at this going, this doesn't make any sense. Someone who just said some stuff several years ago, didn't actually do anything, apologized, corrected himself, doesn't do it anymore, as opposed to someone who did do stuff and still works for them, and for someone who is a serial person who messes up on Twitter and doesn't look like he's ever going to stop. Those are the three cases we have. And that's why we look at this and say this James Gunn thing doesn't make any sense. And that's why there were so many people signing this petition to have him reinstated.
Yeah. Now, I'm not terribly familiar with Ben Shapiro, but I have a feeling that he's a right political activist because he's in with Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham and all those guys. So Ben Shapiro even tweeted, so this is from the other side, this is a person from the other side of the aisle, all right, saying, I think James Gunn is an a-hole, as my exchange with him earlier this week made clear. I also think that firing him for vile old joke tweets is a bad precedent and a mistake. There is no limiting principle to the outrage mob. All right, so again, somebody else saying, listen, this is all in the past. This is so far ago, and it's been taken care of.
I truly think that there's more to this story than we're being told.
Well, you know what? I just don't know. Because we've seen so many stories where, yes, sometimes that does come out to be true, but other times it doesn't. It's just the outrage machine. You know, and Robert Downey Jr., as Mom Blair brings up Robert Downey Jr., Robert Downey Jr. did some horrible things that got him blacklisted in Hollywood. All right. Nobody was going to touch him. Everybody thinks of him now as Iron Man and the funny, weird guy, you know, that helps all these charities. But he was the Brat Pack. Yeah, I mean, he was the leader of the Brat Pack.
He was all mostly self-destructive. I mean, that was drugs and alcohol. And I think he did go to prison, right?
I don't.
Yeah, briefly.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
And this sums it up right here. There has to be room for apologies and forgiveness. Yeah. Now, we're not even talking about him doing physical harm.
Yeah.
To anyone.
This wasn't. None of them were directed at anyone in particular.
It was just bad jokes. It was kind of like saying, "Oh, you know, if Shaggy and I were hanging out and he said something, I was like, oh, what? I'll stop being gay."
Exactly. And
that's the kind of joke that he made back then.
Yeah.
That's granted, from what I read, that's on the tame end. There were some others that I'm just like, where the hell did this even come from?
Yeah, there were some which were shock for shock's sake. But just like Mike said, you know, back when I was, 9, 10, 11, 12, you didn't like somebody, oh, you're gay, or that idea is gay, or, you know, that you wouldn't say that now. All right. Times have changed. You know, there were some topics that were on the table to be made fun of back in history. All right. You want a prime example? Watch some of Albert Brooks's movies. Okay. Watch a few of those and take into account the passage of time. All right. Because guess what? They wouldn't be made today.
Blazing Saddles would not be made today.
Yeah.
Well, Mel Brooks says Blazing Saddles couldn't be made today. Nothing wrong with Blazing Saddles. I mean, that's...
I'll tell you what, I had my wife and I, when my daughter was still living here, we're like, hey, let's watch a movie. She goes, well, what do you want to watch? I'm like, I don't know. My wife said, well, you got Blazing Saddles. Let's watch it. My daughter had never seen it before. Throw it on. My daughter was horrified. Horrified.
Well, how many times have we said, but you really want to throw a tween or millennial into shock? Plop them down in front of the TV and put All in the Family on.
Yeah.
And tell them that this was one of the most popular shows of its time. And they're going to just be like...
You have to explain to them. These two movies, or these two things, All in the Family, Blazing Saddles, those are the things that helped shine a light on these problems to help us get to where we are now.
Yeah. You look at the Jeffersons, Sanford and Son, you know, all these things helped evolve our understanding and knowledge of a problem. And I'm not saying that it's solved yet.
My Two Dads.
My Two Dads. Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean,
that was 20 years ahead of its time.
Even some of the older skits from SNL. Like, the one that stands out for me is when Richard Pryor was on and they did the parody of The Exorcist.
Oh, no, the one that stands out for me is when Eddie Murphy dressed up as a white guy and went into the bank and they threw money at him.
There was that one, but there was also, it was a Richard Pryor one skit where he's doing word association with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy throws out the N-word and Richard Pryor is like, honky.
Yeah, it was like a back and forth word association.
Yeah.
And they go, dead honky.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, this stuff isn't, it's not ancient history. It's recent.
Yeah.
All right. So
now I'd say this is also happening at the same time as we have this whole Papa John's thing going.
Oh my God. Yeah. Papa.
Well, it's pretty clear reading between the lines that, Papa John's, the rest of the board has been unhappy with him for a while.
Yeah, there's definitely more stuff going on there. Yeah. The fact that they're taking his image off the boxes.
Yes.
Now there's accusations that he established a bro culture amongst the upper management. They have now secured it to essentially be able to make it so that he can't lock out the rest of the board.
Yes. You can't try to buy up the rest of the stock or anything like that.
There's
definitely this is like the opportunity the board took.
Yeah.
To get rid of him.
So yeah, there is just a whole lot there to digest. But if the tweets are the only thing that they have on Gunn to get rid of him, okay, and I agree with Mike. I think it's kind of a big if. All right, because he's a huge cash cow, changing directors for a well-established series on what is slated to be the last one in the series before everybody changes. Because they've already basically said, hey, we're getting rid of the whole cast and we're going to start again. The third one will be the last one with this set of characters.
I don't think that's what they're saying for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I thought that was pretty clear that after the second part of Infinity Wars and the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie, that they're basically transitioning to a newer team.
I think Guardians was being blueprinted for multiple movies. What they're saying is that after we see what happens with Infinity Wars 2, that they're kind of blowing things up at that point. So that isn't to say that after that you may not still have some of the same actors, but it's also the opportunity to put in different actors for different characters.
Could be.
So, like, Benedict Cumberbatch is probably still going to be Doctor Strange because they haven't gone far enough with him, and it's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're going to start introducing more. I thought I read it's going to be more female-centric heroes. Yeah, so they're moving on to the next phase with new characters.
Yeah.
But they
not
may
replacing
take the opportunity to replace some of the actors who don't want to keep doing it.
Yeah, like Robert Downey Jr. Now, and not to divert too far from this topic, but he's been saying he wanted out anyway, and the Iron Man storyline lends itself to Tony Stark disappearing as Iron Man.
Yeah,
and somebody else taking up the mantle in the suit. So
at this point, they could give it to the kid from the second movie.
Somebody. The best quote that I read, and I wish I could remember who said it, regarding this whole thing, and this is advice for everyone. The internet is written in digital ink.
Yeah.
What you say and what you do online, you can delete it. Someone will always have screen capped it before you delete it. It never truly goes away. So you have to be mindful before you hit that post button, before you hit that send button.
Yeah.
It can come back to haunt you. It can come back to bite you.
And it may not keep you from being president of the United States, but it could keep you from having a good job.
And you say that jokingly, but that does bring up an interesting point. Does that change the landscape a little bit? Are people thinking, well, if the president can get away with saying stuff like that on Twitter, I can too? No, it doesn't work that way.
Actually, that's the opposite. A lot of this is a reaction to that.
So it's just kind of crazy. So, all righty. We will move on and we'll do another quick hit real quick. So
you posted something about Jersey suburbs.
Yeah. So, Mike, Jersey is got a couple of things going on. One is, I don't know that not all the women, but some of the women in Jersey, not very smart. Okay. At least let's put it this way. The drug mule women in New Jersey, not terribly smart. All right.
Well,
another article from Fox News here. New Jersey woman caught smuggling heroin in packages resembling cooked chickens.
Oh, you know what?
Who's bringing a chicken back?
Honestly, I truly don't know.
I mean, I go to Walmart for a rotisserie chicken. I don't go to Mexico City for one. Okay, I'm not going to take a flight just to bring back.
You're not going to be allowed to bring it back.
Some GBD chicken. All right.
Why bring heroin in the shape of something that U.S. Customs would not allow you to bring in anyway?
Well, I know you can take a birthday cake on a plane.
There's a difference between taking a birthday cake on a plane and bringing a birthday cake from a different country.
That could be true. I don't know. I've never been to another country.
Because, if you fly inside the United States and you can have an apple with you and you can eat the apple and you're fine. You bring an apple from Mexico and you don't declare it, then that's a $700 fine.
No. Fruits and veggies. I didn't know if that same thing applied to cooked food or not. I know it seems like a silly semantic thing, but I never knew.
I'm not going to say 100% I know the answer to that, but I think the answer is they don't like it.
So, 61-year-old Emma Soriano of Passaic was apprehended Sunday after landing at JFK International Airport with nearly 10 pounds of heroin worth upwards of $300,000 in street value, wrapped up and disguised as cooked chicken. So you got that, Mike, on one side, okay? Then, now I was confused by this because I thought millennials were killing the subdivisions, okay, the suburbs. I thought we read an article not too long ago that all the millennials wanted to do was move into downtown hipster locations, drink custom gourmet coffee, and ride around on their bicycles.
Okay. I misunderstood this based on the headline. What this is saying is that I thought people from all over the country were flocking to Jersey suburbs.
You
and
thought
I was
you
like,
guys were the new Mecca?
What the hell is wrong with you people?
You thought
everybody, every single person I know, and I know a lot of people.
Mike thought his real estate was going to go up in value, my friend.
Every single person I have talked to in Jersey that is my age or within plus or minus 10 years of my age, the only ones who are not talking about leaving Jersey are the ones who are ready to die here.
Mike was ready to yell upstairs, Kim, we're cashing out. We're selling it now.
So this is saying that the millennials are moving from the towns and the city-like environments to the suburbs. And that makes perfect sense now. Not people from all over are flocking to New Jersey to live in the suburbs of New Jersey. No, it don't work that way at all, especially now. Our taxes have gone up a ridiculous amount in the year, and not even a full year that this jackass Fire Marshal Bill son of a bitch has been in office. The sales tax went up. The gas tax went up. He's 10 cents a milliliter tax on vape juice, for God's sakes. He's they're talking about taxing the tap water. Taxing a usage tax on the water. Per 1,000 gallons, a tax to pay for pipes so we don't have the Flint, Michigan. Bitch, fix the pipes anyway. The infrastructure is falling apart. We have literally hundreds of municipalities. That's redundancies in all kinds of state workers that are eligible for pensions, and that's part of the reason why this freaking this state is going bankrupt. That's why everybody's leaving.
Well, no, Mike, you thought everybody was flocking in.
Where's everybody going? Because they're always telling us that Illinois, everybody's leaving too.
Yeah, everybody's leaving New Jersey and Illinois. And
okay,
maybe they're all going to California. I don't know.
Jersey people, the majority of the people I know are either going to North Carolina, Pennsylvania, the ones that are like still on that cusp of retirement are going to Pennsylvania because it's not a bad commute to come back. The older generation always wanted to go to Florida.
Yeah, they're moving to Florida. Florida is going to have to like take over another state so that it can grow, because pretty soon it's going to fill up with old people. I mean, how many retirees can fit in Florida before it needs to expand?
No, that's the thing. The retirees keep dying.
But we're living longer as a people.
And that's a problem.
I think they just need to take over Atlanta.
You know what we need?
Take over Georgia.
You know what we need?
We'll call it North Florida.
We need a good old-fashioned plague.
I am not advocating for a plague, Mike. You know, we need polio back.
Maybe
these anti-vaxxers are on to something.
Anti-vax and vegan bastards. Listen to me.
Maybe the government's already gone to your plan, Mike, and that's why we have so many salmonella outbreaks on the food.
And E. coli.
Every other day, something's being recalled for E. coli, salmonella, or botulism or something. I can't have any. In fact, I'll tell you what, our sponsor, Ski, all right, even they can fall prey to recalls. A few months ago, Ski Red was recalled because they had the wrong die number printed.
Oh, printed or actually in there?
On the can, printed on the can. So they had to recall Ski because of a labeling issue.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Mama Blair, listen. You've never been to Newark, have you? Let me explain something. We used to joke all the time about this, and now when I was a kid, and now I realize it couldn't be closer to the truth. When you fly into Newark is the area around the airport is some of the dirtiest, most industrial. I mean, you're going to look out the window while you're on final approach, and you're going to be like, what the hell are we getting into? This looks like a set from one of these bad post-apocalyptic movies that those guys reviewed.
It's 1980s Beirut.
It's bad. That being said, not even a half hour in any direction, things start to look better. So, anyway.
So what the question is, what's driving the change? Well, they're saying, millennials are now starting to get to the age where they're having families, and they're finding out, hey, in this little 10 by 10 apartment that cost me $7,000 a month, I can't have a family, and I need a school that doesn't require 10 metal detectors before you walk in the door. And, maybe I actually need to eat something for substance. So they're finding, hey, maybe the kid would like a yard rather than having to walk to the park to see grass.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get the whole suburban part. I just don't get the whole Jersey part at all. Jesus. Now, before I have an aneurysm here, and before we go into the movie reviews, because it's almost that time, can we talk about Prime Day real quick?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. How many thousands of boxes did you have show up at your house?
Okay, so it wound up being 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, only one was Kim's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd say about 8 if you count the one envelope.
Okay, well, that's not too bad.
Because a lot of the orders wound up getting combined into a box. But all told, I spent about $220 that I didn't, of which I only needed $30.
Well, we'll go to Colin next. Colin, Prime Day, how many deals did you buy?
I only did a couple myself, but my parents got a new TV.
Okay.
Is that the one box that they got?
No.
Okay.
Because they also got some Amazon Cloud Cams.
Okay.
I believe my mom accidentally bought a rice bowl.
Okay.
I bought the Fire TV Cube.
Oh, okay. You can be just as disappointed as I have been with it.
Why are you disappointed with it?
Because when you ask it to look for a movie, the only thing so far it's been able to search is Amazon. And then it doesn't tell you the difference. Then it doesn't just search the Prime ones. It searches all of them. And there's no easy way to tell it, just show me the damn Prime ones. It won't search Netflix worth a damn by voice. It can't control Plex because you have to launch Plex first before you can tell it to show Plex, before you can tell it Plex commands. And even then it goes, oh, I can't find your player. Sorry. So that sucks. It can't play Spotify right now, which is stupid, and, oh, yeah, it can't Bluetooth connect to a damn phone.
Yeah, well, those are all things I don't care about, so mostly I need it, because my parents actually got the Toshiba Fire TV.
Okay.
That's the new TV they got, because it was like a 55-inch TV for like, I forget how much it was. It was stupid priced. And they needed that also for the cloud cams.
Okay.
So because we have the Fire TV now for the downstairs TV, the Cube, then it can watch the cloud cams and stuff.
The only thing I will say, it excels at. Oh, by the way, the other thing, it can't switch inputs. For some reason, it and my TV don't get along. When I tell it to switch the input, it brings up the little screen with all the inputs listed, but it doesn't bother to switch them. The only thing it does exceedingly well is it turns the TV on and off. So
awesome.
that has been handy because I never remember to turn the TV off as I'm walking out the door. And so I just tell it, hey, turn the TV off. And it goes, okie dokie.
So when I was finally able to get in,
see, I got in. I looked late, so I didn't even notice that they had server problems.
I saw every dog that's a mascot of Amazon. About 3 dozen of them. So all the things I ordered.
Mm-hmm.
2-pack of replacement filters for our vacuum. A package of 2-inch, 4-inch, and 6-inch extension bits for my impact driver. A 3-piece plastic knife set. Pair of knee compression braces. A refurbished Echo. Lithium AA batteries. Greenies for the dogs. A Corsair PC case, because this one, the airflow is horrible, which caused me problems, so I'm going to be doing a transplant in the near future. That'll be fun. Anti-itch oatmeal spray for dogs and cats. An 8-cup stovetop percolator, which I still don't understand how it moved from my wish list to my orders. But it did, and showed up, and I was like, oh, whatever. A 40-pound box of cat litter, because it was a stupid price. A pair of... Oh, wow, they are magnetic. Okay. A pair of magnetic Bluetooth earbuds.
Okay.
A Drinkwell filtered water fountain for dogs and cats.
Boy, your pet's made out really good on Prime Day.
Shoelaces. A 4-channel XLR snake from Monoprice.
Okay.
Because it was so much cheaper to buy a 4-channel snake than to buy 4 3-foot XLR cords.
Mm-hmm.
A metal wall mount bracket for the Echo Dot, because when Kim got the Echo, I inherited the Dot, so I have upgraded from the project manager to the personal assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Dentist sticks, and I believe that was it. Yes, that was it.
All right, so I ordered nothing, but then I was asked to order on behalf of someone else one thing because it was a limit 1 per customer. So for the grandchildren, I ordered 1 TFI car headrest mount holder for Kindle Fire.
Okay.
So so I ordered nothing except for one thing on behalf of somebody else that they paid me for.
Oh, God bless you.
So I managed.
God bless you.
I managed to avoid Prime Day in its entirety. And somebody, I think I read an article that said that they made over $2 million more this year than they did last year.
You know why? Because they actually had decent deals this year.
Yeah.
Last year, there was no wait list for an electric pencil sharpener this year.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of items that it wasn't a specific quantity.
Yeah. And what's weird is now I wish I'd have found an electric pencil sharpener, because it's back to school right now. So like Walmart has, I don't have any on me, back to school sale running. And so, did I put one here? Nope, I didn't put one here. Weird stuff in back to school. I love picking up cheap notebooks because I use notebooks all the time. So $0.25 a piece for a 70-sheet notebook. I'm going to buy at least 4 of those because it's $1. I bought myself some pencils because I love me some pencils to write, to draw with and stuff. And then they had flash drives on back to school sale. Mike, a 32 gig flash drive, $5.
Actually, not too bad.
No, it was a good deal. So I bought 6. So, I use them all the time. I have crazy amounts of flash drives running around here.
I have joked that I have enough flash drives in this office, both that I know of and ones I've lost, that I could back up the... Oh, there it is. I could probably back up the flight plan for all of the SpaceX missions. Yeah, so you got your choice of pink, red, or baby blue, but that's all it is. It's a SanDisk, and I did the checker on it. It's actually a really good jump drive. They didn't cheap out on the internals, which is stupid. I would have done really cheap stuff because people don't know the difference. But good quality. All right, it is now time for the double feature movie review. As we do every show, we find 2 movies inspired by Amazon and Netflix's, hey, you watch this, so you may like this list. And since we've been doing this for so long, they recommend a bunch of stuff. And then we also find things that we think may be interesting. We're looking for those diamonds in the rough, those movies that you may never have heard of. They were direct to DVD, direct to streaming, sometimes direct to VHS. And we tell you whether they're worth a watch or not. This show's contenders, Tracers and Boone the Bounty Hunter, both available on Netflix currently. So what do we want to start out with, Colin?
Let's do Tracers first.
We're doing Tracers, and who wants to go first?
I don't have a whole lot on it, so I'll go first.
Okay.
The first thing I noticed was when the credits were popping up, it said Saban Films, and I'm thinking, aren't these the guys that did Power Rangers? They are. I got to say that my expectations were very low going in because this guy was my least favorite actor in Twilight. Well, behind the guy that played Edward, the chick that played Bella, the nerdy chick with the glasses, the sheriff. Okay, maybe he's not that bad. The chick from The 100. Okay, business just picked up, and now I'm going to pay attention. I'm not a mechanic by trade, but he started the car, and it stalled, and he immediately tried to turn the key. I think you have to put the car in either neutral or park in order to start the engine again. I think that's a safety feature. But the gang really just seemed too bling-ring-ish for me. Maybe they were just all too pretty. I don't know. Something did not sit right with the casting of the characters for the gang. But I guess they had to pick folks that were good at parkour. I don't understand why Cam, who's the main character played by the Twilight dude, didn't just tell the leader of the gang that he owes 10 grand to the Chinese. Wouldn't that have just gotten it out in the open and been like, hey, okay, I'd rather owe you because I'm working for you and you just take from my cut and blah, blah, blah. No, well, I guess they can't because then you don't have a movie. Spoiler alert, the main bad guy turns out to be a Fed, so it makes sense now. He's a crooked cop. All right. The ending was very predictable, how it ultimately ended. So with that said, I gave this a smirk. The movie was entertaining. The story was somewhat bland. The parkour was good, but I'm going to say, if you want to watch a better movie with a lot of parkour, go find the movie Brick Mansions with Paul Walker, and I believe you'll be a little bit more, you'll find that's a better movie that kind of focuses on parkour. That's all I have. I mean, I'll comment as you guys talk.
All right. I'll go ahead and go second.
Okay.
Because it looks like you actually have something written.
Yeah.
I don't have that much
I wrote it this time.
My problems with this movie were mostly just criticisms of how it could be a better movie. So I like the parkour thing because it is the theme of the week. It's parkour because it will also be in the second movie. We seem to be doing this lately of having themes, even if we didn't know that we were going to have themes. My problem is so that the main character, Cam, starts off as a New York City messenger deliverer, and on a bike. Okay, And it shows lots of good footage of him entering offices and delivering stuff and getting past security guards because they know who he is and delivering stuff. And I was thinking, this is interesting backstory. So when they're doing the parkour stuff, then this will be, he already has this much experience getting around offices and past security guards and stuff. And then they didn't do anything at all with that character information. So he never had to get through something doing parkour because the security guards knew him. At no point was he running through a populated office trying to get away from people and getting away from them because he knows how to get around offices better than the people who don't. None of this became useful information, and I found that very disappointing. When I watch caper movies, which this is sort of a caper movie, but it's not, because they did a terrible job of capers, I expect more capers. We got a bunch of people doing parkour, running around, doing stuff. All we get in this movie is a tryout with the main character where you're not even sure if you're watching a live thing, and then he's just running away. You have a failed fake bank robbery thing, and you have the killing attempt at the end. He gets away. I wanted more. I would love, if there had been more scenes of them doing what it was they were doing, so you could see what the heck they're. What was the? Okay, there was this thing where they take a truck somewhere, and then a guy fills the back of the truck up with these big drums sideways. Well, why are the drums sideways? I mean, if I was putting a bunch of drums of stuff into the back of a van, I think I'd prefer them to be, up on their ends, not rolling around in the back of the van. Okay. I still do not understand what was up with that, what that had to do with parkour or anything from a structural, this is what I want to watch this movie for. It does get a smirk for me because I did, enjoy some of the stuff, but, man, it just seemed like a lot of missed opportunities. Again, as usual, I was watching it with family, and we're watching it going, why is this movie spending so much time on these stupid character beats of these uninteresting people apparently sort of having a relationship, but not in a way that is believable at all, when we could be watching people running away from other people stealing stuff? I would like to watch more of that, not more of people, looking at each other longingly, unconvincingly.
Okay, before I get into my written stuff, I do want to say I did pick up on the barrels loading, and I was really expecting them to roll out of the van, dump open, have it be toxic waste, and see the guy go all melty, as in RoboCop when they were in the toxic waste dump. All right, I was really expecting that. Never saw it. A little disappointed. All right, on to my written review.
So before you do that, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did they ever reveal what was in those drums?
No.
Okay.
I'm glad that both of you agree. I was like, did I miss it?
So it was a MacGuffin.
Yes. All right.
No. I used that wrong. Okay.
Luckily, this week was a welcome respite from the gutter trash that we have previously been experiencing. One of the flicks we got to see was Tracers, a 2015 film about a bicycle messenger who is in hot water with the Chinese mob, and through a love interest ends up being in even hotter water trying to resolve his problem by entering a criminal enterprise centered around parkour. Now, for those of you uninitiated with parkour, let me tell you that if you search YouTube for it, you'll spend the next 4 hours watching people run, jump, bounce, dive, and roll off of, into, over, and through a myriad of objects and structures. You'll be amazed and astonished, and you'll think that these people are superhuman or belong in some Chinese acrobatic act. But wait, look for parkour fails on YouTube, and you'll realize that for every one good parkour person, there are 10 people in a cast, or maybe 1 or 2 dead, because they didn't pay attention to the "don't try this at home" sticker, or their eyeballing of distance isn't quite up to snuff. Tracers makes the world of parkour look easily attainable and glamorous. But just like the movie itself, behind the shiny facade, you need to know that there is a plate in someone's head and some steel pins holding things together. First off, the whole premise of getting further into the criminal world to get out of it is not something new. In fact, it's been around forever. This movie really doesn't add anything new to the mix on that front, nor does the very predictable ending surprise anyone at all. I guess I should hate this movie, because of its obvious shortcomings. But in reality, the acting is fairly good, and as for the many tropes as they use, they're fairly well pulled off. The idea that a bunch of for-hire parkour villains are running around town doing jobs for criminals is an interesting idea, though, and really, they didn't expand on it enough. I mean, you saw one job that looked like someone paid them to steal evidence, and then all the other jobs appeared to be for themselves. Where is this guaranteed service that Miller talked about? Seriously, give us less about the side plot of an ex-landlady and more about the high-dollar criminals hiring them to do their dirty work. That's what we want to see. In summation, they did a good job, and if you ever have watched parkour videos, then you're going to love the action, and if you haven't, then you'll be jumping up and down on your mattress for sure. Just don't think that you can take it any further. Because this is entertaining, even with its shortcoming, I'm going to give this a smirk, but they should know that they had an opportunity for a much higher rating, but they just got lazy. By the way, did anybody notice that Miller was the Saint?
No.
The guy who played Miller also played the Saint in the movie that we reviewed. The movie version of the Saint that we reviewed. The made-for-TV movie.
He looked familiar, but I didn't put two and two together there.
In doing my research, I found that.
Wow.
So, this was a few years after the Saint, obviously. So, actually, no, I'm sorry. The Saint was after this. The Saint was in 2018. It's a fairly new release. This was 2015.
No, the Saint was far before this.
Don't think so. Not on IMDb, it wasn't.
Yeah, because it was a failed pilot from several years ago.
They might have it mixed wrong, or maybe I got my dates messed up. It could be. Anyway, next up, Boone the Bounty Hunter. I'll go first on this one.
Go ahead.
What the hell? Let me start off by saying parody comedies are usually not my thing, and so going into this movie, I had little to no expectations for enjoying it. Knowing from the outset that they were essentially making a parody of a parody that is Dog the Bounty Hunter. The only good thing I can really say about watching this movie is that at least it's a good lead up to Sharknado 6. That's right, Boone the Bounty Hunter does actually have something in common with the Sharknado franchise. The lead actor, John Hennigan, who played Boone, actually played Rodolfo in Sharknado 5. That's pretty much where the good news ends, I'm afraid. So just like the plot of Strange Wilderness, another movie we reviewed, we have a reality television show that is on the verge of cancellation. So the star and his crew decide the best thing to do is to go big and try to get the ratings needed to keep the show on the air. For Boone, this means going after a affluenza-type character who is charged with killing a woman during a Hollywood party. Now, of course, that kid's dad is a big-shot Mexican drug lord, idea borrowed from Beer for My Horses. So the crew pack up and go to Mexico to get the brat and save the show. Now, this being a comedy, you know things don't go right and personal relationships are stretched to the limit, with the crew realizing that Boone is really only into everything for himself and that they aren't top of mind to him at all. Which brings us to the point of revelation that turns Boone around and, of course, makes him into the hero we all knew 60 minutes ago he would become. Throw in the eventual drug lord dad turning on his own son, and we end up with everything wrapped up in a nice little bow. Along the way, we do see some familiar faces from other movies. Lorenzo Lamas, Kevin Sorbo, Quentin the Rampage Jackson, and Spencer Grammer, who is the voice of Summer from Rick and Morty. Here's the really strange part about this movie that I couldn't figure out. At no point did I actually want to turn it off. Now, normally, everything I've said about this film would have made me grab the remote and start flipping forward. Or I'd start doing other things with this in the background. But for some stupid reason, I kept watching it. Keeping my attention was not the result of the writing, the acting, or the action. Somehow, it was because the mediocrity of all those things together made something that wasn't horrible, nor was it great. The best I can explain it, it was like watching a car swerving in front of you on the highway. You're just waiting for the crash to happen. You're sure there's going to be a horrific crash that could kill people, maybe bystanders, maybe just a drunk behind the wheel, but you're positive it's going to happen. Then somehow, mile after mile passes and it never happens. You miss your exit, then you miss the next one, and the next one, because you know any minute now a 12-car pileup is going to occur, but then it doesn't happen. And you end up in front of the drunk's house, and he's hobbling in his front door. You're happy no one was hurt, but at the same time you feel disappointed that a spleen didn't flop onto your windshield. That's how this movie is. I waited for the pileup, and it never happened. It just was constantly on the edge of being horrible. So because it rode the drunken driving line so well, I'm going to award it a meh. All right.
I'll go.
You two
I'll
battle
go.
for who's now. All right, Colin.
I'll go. I'll stay in the middle. So, Boone the Bounty Hunter, or as my mom noticed, how many romance novels has that guy been on the cover of? So I looked it up and I was like, oh, he was a wrestler for the WWE at some point. So that explains some of his training. So Boone the Bounty Hunter is a heavily muscled guy doing terrible parkour everywhere. This is a guy who walks along and goes, hey, there's a rock over here to the right. I'll go over there and parkour over it for no apparent reason. This movie is a takeoff of Dog the Bounty Hunter. Dog is well known for having gone to Mexico and gotten in trouble because he captured someone in Mexico, brought him over to the U.S., which is against the law, and was thrown into Mexican jail and escaped back to the U.S., and then many years later they were trying to get him back and basically barely escaped going to Mexican prison. So a lot of this is coming from that. However, for some reason, they decided to use the plot and cast of an old episode of the A-Team because everything in this movie felt like it was an A-Team plot. You know, the A-Team came in, you had the bad guy who's running everything, and all of the people were afraid to do anything, and then there's the big thing at the end where they build the device and break into the place, and in this case, it actually shot people. The A-Team never did, but, you know, still, it felt like the A-Team to me. And I was just watching this and going, and then you get to the end. So, Boone goes to his friend at the ATF to get information about this. And then you find out at the end, oh, the guy from the ATF is calling his drug buddies to let them know that they've cleared the location for this, okay? Now, this is in the same year as Larceny. And the ATF agent is played by Corbin Burnson. So I've decided that this Corbin Burnson character is the same character as the character in Larceny with Dolph Lundgren. So we know that this character later that year got killed in Mexico. But the guy who killed him, you know, the drug lord, I've decided that that's who he was calling at the end of this movie. So Boone the Bounty Hunter has a sequel, which is Larceny.
Boone is a prequel.
So I'll just finish this off. This is actually pretty well written. They did a lot of stuff. Like there is a camera that follows people around, which is kind of like a Chekhov's gun stuck up on the wall, literally. I think it's used later. There's a lot of stuff in this movie where they set things up, and it actually did come back later. Because I don't like it when movies set things up and then nothing ever happens from it. Or if they spend like half the movie, they keep close-ups of the thing they stuck there, like hitting you over the head with it. So I thought it was pretty well written, directed, and terribly acted. But I'm going to give this one a smirk. And I'll just finish off by saying, if you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the Boone team.
All right.
Boone appetit, Mike.
Gobbler Part 2. Okay. So right off the bat, I see this movie's got parkour in its description, so I sense the theme. Jonathan Lipnicki, Rampage Jackson, Kevin Sorbo, Dominique Swain. I mean, where the hell did they pull this freaking cast from? I recognize the lead actor right off the bat. He was known as John Morrison in WWE, and then he wrestled in Lucha Underground for a while. Oh man, my childhood is ruined now because the kid from Jerry Maguire grew up to be a drug dealer. Yeah. Now Corbin Burnson shows up, and this is turning into like a blockbuster potential film. Dead whore bleeding out into the hot tub. Nikki's just standing there in a tub of blood. He ain't worried about hepatitis or nothing. The whole movie is a comedic parody of when Dog the Bounty Hunter went to Mexico, as my colleagues have already said. The chick from the team, she was pretty good at being able to punch a guy square in the nose between the bars of the jail cell. I couldn't do that. I'd wind up hitting the bar and breaking my hand. There's something about a guy who is a pro wrestler riding on a kid's bike at top speed. Something oddly satisfying. You could turn that into a GIF and loop it on YouTube, and I would sit there and watch it like the Yule log on Christmas for hours at a time. It's amazing how just placing a box with a piece of coax sticking out of it on top of the junction box allows them to gain access to all the cameras in the building. No clipping onto a wire, no connecting, no nothing. Just let me put this here and boom, I can see. Is this guy the only guy who doesn't know that a Volkswagen Bug has an engine in the back?
That was a killer joke, man. That was awesome. That was great.
I was glad to see that Milli Vanilli got some work. You remember that time you booned Carrot Top? Listen, I've seen Carrot Top recently, and if you tried to do that, that son of a bitch is gonna eat your face.
Your hair's gonna pop.
He looks like Mask.
The drone stunt at the end to kill off the drug lord was kind of hysterical because spoiler alert, he duct taped a grenade to the drone, but in doing so, he put tape around the firing mechanism so that lever that you see when you pull the pin and throw the grenade, the lever that pops off that starts the timer, could not come off. So that grenade could never actually explode. And Corbin played these bitches. I have to say, the B-reel clips before the credits were actually entertaining. So I'm going to give this a chuckle, which is just right above, a little bit above a smile, one above a smile. I had low expectations for this movie, but when I found out that the main character, John Hannigan, he actually financed the completion of this movie himself by selling his house that he bought with his WWE money. That kind of boosted the rating a little bit. That's commitment right there. Mm-hmm. And surprisingly, this is probably the first movie in a while that I will give a solid recommendation. Not a strong recommendation, but if somebody said, I'm thinking about watching Boone, yeah, watch it. I'm not going to go out on the street and tell people, go watch Boone.
No.
That's not going to happen because that'll get me evicted or deported or shot.
No. All right. So now comes time to pick our next movies. And I've added a few more to the list. So
what did you do?
Went through Netflix and I added a few more. Like we have to do it to keep the pod up and going. So what are we up to? Like 41 now?
43.
43.
Who went? Oh, I did. Okay.
All right,
go ahead.
26.
26. Yes. The Last Movie Star.
The one which we actually casually mentioned last week, or last show.
The one we mentioned, not only did we mention it last show, but
we accidentally had two.
Yes, all right, so that's going to be...
Oh, and then we don't need to pick a second one, right?
Why?
Well, isn't Sharknado 6 like Wednesday?
No.
No?
First off, it's not on a Wednesday anymore.
Oh, it's not? Did they actually change it?
No. Yeah, it was announced. It was release date.
Oh, it's August 19th.
August 19th. So not.
Oh, it's Sunday. It's a Sunday.
Yep. Yes.
Okay,
so
good.
The 6th. Our next show is the 6th. So the next show, we only pick one.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Because honestly, I wanted to rewatch all of them before then.
Yes, I'll probably be doing that as well.
I know I'm out of my mind.
I don't even have seen the second one.
So they're all on Jarvis. I made sure all of them are up there. Okay.
Oh, they're all up on streaming anyway.
Yeah. 7.
7 is... Well, Colin, hopefully you like this one. This is one of the earlier ones, so you're going to have to check and see if it's still available on Netflix. The Last Heist.
Yes, still available. Oh, this is Henry Rollins. This is a heist movie. A bank job descends into bloody chaos when professional robbers get trapped in the building with a bloodthirsty maniac who has an eyeball fetish. Violent and suspenseful.
Sounds like...
I think Henry Rollins plays the bloodthirsty maniac.
He must play the father of the character in that movie we watched last time.
Yeah, he probably does. Well, stepdad. Obviously, that guy doesn't have his real parents. I mean, you know.
All right, so just to wrap some stuff up here, Mama Blair is saying,
Watch two movies, one with a script and no actors, one with actors looking for a script.
And
Shark Party in my house, yes.
Afraid I won't be there.
You'll be there in spirit. We'll be connected.
Now, the biggest problem I'm going to have here, because we ran into this with, I don't remember if it was Sharknado or if it was Christmas Story Live.
Yeah,
but
Christmas Story Live was a disaster because I was at my brother-in-law's house trying to watch it on my phone and tweet at the same time.
Okay, but there was one of them where the signals were like, one of us was like 10 seconds ahead of the other.
Yeah, I think it's because I was trying to stream it. So I think we'll be in better sync. Previously for Lavalantula 2 and for Sharknadoes, we've usually been in sync, or at least close enough where it didn't matter. Which, by the way, well, you don't have VR in any of your phones, do you?
No.
Okay, and Mike, you've got a Galaxy now, right?
Yeah, I have.
But
I got the VR headset.
Do you have the VR headset? Because I was going to say we could, because if Colin had VR, we could actually do not a live TV watch party, but we could actually do a watch party of one of the movies in VR. Plex recently released where you can bring your friend up to 7 of your friends in and you can sit on a virtual couch and all watch the same show. Not that it's something that we would want to do because that's super nerd. Yeah. But yeah. Oh,
now, we do have 3 cloud cams, so we could have video at my parents' house.
Oh, yeah. Oh, let's see here. Let's get to where we need to be.
Whatever you go to play, Shaggy.
Yeah, I'm working on it. So,
Decisions.
I know. Well, I have to find it first. All right, folks, you've been listening to PTR Radio here in the fabulous interweb. Thank you so much for watching.
We didn't get the steak.
We didn't get the steak poll, but I will tell you what. I will publish the results on our Facebook and Twitter page.
Okay.
As to how many people. I'm going to tell you right now, the winner was medium rare. Probably by a long shot. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm pretty sure that was the winner.
Y'all living wrong, but that's okay.
Nah, it's the only way to cook it.
What do you say?
Blue rare.
Pretty Gunn the cut.
So
I'd be happy if
and
Blue
the
rare.
source. And the source.
Yes.
Yeah. So, folks, thank you for listening. Don't forget, subscribe to the podcast. Just go to ptrradio.com. There's links there to subscribe. You can subscribe on Android, iTunes. You can use Podcast Addict. That's the app that I use. And I am not alone right now. On Podcast Addict, I will tell you that there are, let's see here, there are approximately 440 people subscribed to the show on Podcast Addict. So it is the app to use if you want to listen. You can always check us out, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, at PTR Radio, on all those places. So with that said, I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am Mike the Ape Man.
You can look for us again on August 6th. We'll be back. Till then, stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.